what's up, and in this video, if you didn't know, I am a beekeeper, which basically means you keep a beehive in your backyard and you inspect it and stuff like that. So today we are going to be inspecting it, and yeah, so the bees are actively, if you can see right here down at the fountain, they're drinking actively, and it's a pretty hot day, so they're doing good. So let's head up to the hive. Alright, so we got our, if you didn't know, bees don't like wasps, so we got a lot of wasp hives and they fill up pretty fast. So just gonna head up to the beehive and check the hive. And my dad is going to be helping me as well. Okay. So, this is our beehive. Put some frames in there of bee combs, which is where they put their honey and stuff. So, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, so we smoke the bees before we start, so that they know that we're there and they don't get surprised and sting us a lot. So yeah, we're just gonna smoke them in the front here, you can see there, and then we are going to open it up and look in the hive, and you'll see it's pretty interesting kind of deal there, that we have like frames of honeycomb, which has honey, pollen, and nectar in it. So we are going to, Dad's getting the smoker ready.
Okay, let's take the lid off.
And then we're going to first smoke the front, like that, yeah. And we're going to take the lid off. And then we got this frame up here for, yeah.
Here, run the smoker, please. Okay, let's see what's in here. Then open the door on the side. Come look at this. Normally look at this.
So right here, if you can see, there's frames right there, kind of frames. And once we look inside, you can see the honeycomb. So it's pretty cool. So let's open that.
Smoke the top.
Okay, now they know that we're here. And there's some bees flying around, as you can see. So if you don't, can you come here? Yeah, the bees are kind of.
I think we should start in the bottom.
Yeah, we're gonna. This is what's called a super. That's where they put the honey that we are going to take away from them and eat, sell, everything. And then these bottom two are called deeps.
Whoa!
And we are going to, with the deeps, we are going to, they are just going to build pollen and nectar and stuff on the deeps.
So take some still pictures as we go here, Heaven.
I honestly don't know how to do that.
On the right side, you can just push the button and take a picture.
No, she's already filming a video.
Sorry.
Did you?
I'm the mom taking the video, and I'm not going to risk my video by taking stills. I'll have you all know that I also am not suited up, but I'm really lucky. I never seem to get stung, and whereas typically, at least last year, when they would be working the bees, both my husband and my son would come screaming into the house. Not because so much because of the bees, but because of the wasps that were really a problem last year. Good thing to know is if you get stung by either wasps or bees, putting vinegar on the bee site sting really helps a lot. So knowing where your vinegar is pretty key.
Take a picture of that.
And I did. I don't know how to take a picture.
Okay, down on the bottom right, just hit the button picture.
She's making a video.
You can take a picture and a video once. Smoking.
Well, it looks like the bees are doing well. Earlier in the season, the hive
What are these?
population, I guess, was way
There's
down.
like larva in there.
And
What are these things?
that was a result of the
white
queen having died. But a couple months ago,
What are those?
they purchased a new queen
I gotta get a
and put her into the hive. So
royal jelly.
notice how they're swarmed
No,
with
they're
bees.
like
I'm practically as close, but nobody's coming to get me. So I'll try to get in a little bit closer.
I've never seen that
There
before.
you go. So beekeeping is still fairly new to our family. Although years ago I was an assistant beekeeper, years and years ago when I worked at a ranch in Arkansas. But so we have not yet harvested any honey, but I think we're hopeful for this year.
Let's get the smoker going.
My mother and my husband and my son are the ones who have taken the classes. So here in Washington, I believe it's required by law that you take classes and become certified if you're going to be doing beekeeping. It's not something you can just kind of casually get into because there's a lot to know. And bees are endangered. There's a lot of, or I should say, the biggest pathogen I believe that they face are mites, tracheal mites. And that has been a concern all around the world, and bee populations have decreased. So, as you know, bees are vitally important to the health of our agricultural economy and with the pollination that they do. So Quinny mentioned in a previous video that he had just gotten back from North Dakota. When he was in North Dakota staying with his grandparents, he got to have the opportunity to help at a commercial, well, help, I mean more like have a field trip to a commercial operation one day, which was a pretty special opportunity. I wonder how many 10-year-olds get to have that.
Come out of the cell,
Brood.
and then
Quinn says, that's honey there.
if it's flat or curved down, it's honey. If it's like popped up a little bit, it's brood. But if it's really in a kind of cone shaped, it is it's a drone cell.
Quinny, can you tell us what are the drones?
Drones are boy bees. They mate with queens, and then the queens can lay eggs, which become
What is this white stuff here?
baby bees. So unfertilized eggs are drones, and fertilized eggs are girls.
So do drones do anything
Look, they're
except
hauling
for
that
mate
white
with the queen? Are,
No, they just look around for queen. That's all.
so they're not the ones that go out and hunt for pollen then? No, those are called what?
Brood is down. Now that's brood. See how
Those are
they're...
called harvester.
Get the brood here.
Oh,
It's
okay.
all brood. Baby bees
At risk
right
of
here.
getting stung.
You got stung?
There, no, I haven't yet. Wow. No, they like me. I guess I'm kind of a bee whisperer. I'm sort of a dog whisperer too. Whenever we've had a dog in the family, the dog was just passionately in love with me. Actually, come to think about it, back when I was a kid and we had a parrot, I was the one that the parrot loved too. All right, I'll stop tooting my own horn because the next thing I know, I'm gonna end up getting stung and disprove my status as a protected one.
This is brood.
All right, let's see.
Hopefully
So you said that white larva was not bee larva, though.
I don't
It's somebody
know.
else's
Quinn
larva.
says it might be royal jelly. Royal
jelly. Again, this is just, we've been doing it for a year. We're not bee
there's a little
experts.
baby
Well, I
larva in
certainly am
there.
not.
That looks like a
Oh, yeah.
larva to me.
Well, it's a larva of some type. And then you'd think if it wasn't bee larva, they would probably get rid of it, push it out of the hive, I would think.
I don't know. I hate to kill it.
So there's the train going along that you probably hear a lot in Quinn's videos
They might want that stuff.
that he was
Ooh,
yelling
that might
at the
upset
other
them.
day.
There's a lot of larvae in there.
Okay.
Guess I'll get rid of them, but
So what is the job? What are you guys trying to do right now when you're servicing it?
They're going to get really mad, so I'm really worried about you, Heaven. Not being suited up. They're going to get mad because we've just been destroying these larvae.
Okay.
Let's put the top box back on so they know that we're going to put down soon.
Hey Quinn, do you want me to still videotape or have we kind of seen enough here? Oh, look at how he's scraping
Here,
along
smoke
at the
it,
bees.
smoke it.
I would think they would get mad.
Smoke it.
I think still.
So I always learned that smoking bees was a way of making them docile.
No, why?
Quinny keeps using the wording that it just alerts them that we're there. I don't know. Maybe there's different ways of discussing it than when I first learned about bees.
Bring it back in later.
Oh, that's interesting. Look how he just dropped a bunch down there though. And it's interesting when they do drop a bunch of wax down by the hive, it'll get cleaned up by the bees and they'll reuse it. Woo! It is getting very active, but again, they're not bothering me.
Okay, let's put the top box
Well, let's finish this up. We haven't. Oh, there's a lot of drone. Okay, well, let's just call it good, huh?
Yeah.
So one of the things that Quinn learned last year is that wearing socks, which he's doing today, so maybe he didn't learn, is kind of a bad deal. Like you should.
I did learn, but
Well,
I
yeah.
didn't take the time to tape up and do all the boots.
Yeah. So what I was going to say is that taping up and wearing boots is pretty important because some reason they're really aggravated by the material of socks and they'll sting through the socks. He hasn't been stung yet today, but
No, it's just heavy.
yeah. I mean, there were times last year when when Quinn came back in and he had like 12 bee stings on him. But like I may have said already, he's really pretty chill when he gets stung, unless it's a wasp, because wasps hurt
Let's get this off.
a lot
we
more.
got the top box on and now they're slowing down a little bit, not a lot, but they know that we're going to be putting the top on soon.
Look how pretty and clean that was.
So that's good. And we're just going to clean up. See all this comb that's like on the wood and on the side here? You can go ahead. But on the wood, it was better on the bottom to see. But that is burr comb. It is comb that you don't want. It's really messy and it's somewhat bad for your hive.
Okay, there's one bee that's fixated on me right now. I'm hoping if I stand still, he goes away.
Yeah, just a lot of.
So you don't. Here's bee space. You only want that much space between them. If there's too much space, they'll build in extra comb. You don't want that.
They build bridge comb, which is comb between each frame.
Which is a bad thing.
Yeah.
And it's bad because then it's hard to pull out the frames, and then you make them more mad when you do try to pull them out.
Yes.
So what's the difference between bridge comb and burr comb?
Burr comb is just not attached to each frame. It's just on the wood, and you have to get it off because animals will like lay eggs and stuff in there. Bridge comb, it doesn't cause that much problems. Besides the fact that it's hard to get the frames out, and the bees will get aggravated and sting.
So I was reading history of
There's
sort
honey in
of
there.
lost folk crafts, and it was talking about
And by
how.
the way,
Oh, hold on, I'll tell you in a moment. Yes, Quinn.
We're
So
gonna
you-
get that smoker
so you-
going.
you see the comb here that we put on
Quinn,
the ground.
smoker, get the smoker here, please.
You see the comb we put on the ground? That's fur comb and bridge comb. The bees will automatically take that and put it back into their hive in different cells.
So, as I was saying, I was reading this book on lost folk craft. Yeah, not just crafts, but like skills, and it was talking about the evolution of beekeeping and how, you know, the classic like Winnie the Pooh or
So they
sort
still have room
of
to
old time
grow up in here.
beehive was like a wicker basket, and back in those days it was all burr comb, and the bees just completely filled it, and then when beekeepers harvested the honey, they basically just completely smashed up
Brand new.
the comb and I don't know, I guess pushed out the honey by smashing it all up. But of course,
Totally empty.
the problem with that is that you've destroyed your hive every year. But back in those days, and when I'm saying those days, I'm probably talking about like medieval times or something. They
haven't done nothing
when they
up
would
top.
renew a hive, it really was a matter of going and finding a swarm that was out in nature. But back then, swarms were more common.
right,
Whereas, like I
put the
said,
lid back on
in past decades, there's been a huge die-off of bees, and so you don't find just swarms out in trees like you once could. Well, anyway, one of the major advancements that happened in beekeeping was, and I don't know his name, you'll have to look it up. Some beekeeper discovered the ideal spacing between the frames so that the bees would grow it, and they could pull out the frames and not destroy it, and be able to harvest and reuse the wax. And so anyway, that's why beehives now look the way they do versus just that little rounded classic basket that
as we're heading down, guys, I want to say, once I hit 1 million subscribers, I will go live. And if you comment down below, down there, I will. If you comment video ideas, I will pick or draw from a hat or whatever.
look up at it.
And I will like give a thanks to that person in a video. So share my video, share my channel. Yeah. And be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. And I'll see you in the next one.